What if I told you that food isn't just fuel, that it's not just about calories or protein or carbs? What if every single bite you take is actually sending a stream of electrical information directly into your body? Today, we're going to peel back that mystery. Let's dive in.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You have a great lunch, maybe a big salad, and you feel fantastic, clear-headed, energized for hours. But the next day, you grab something quick and processed, and by 3 p.m., you hit a wall. Total brain fog. So what's the deal? What is actually happening in your body to cause such a huge difference?
Well, the answer goes way deeper than we thought. It's not just about calories in, calories out. It's about the bioelectric signals your food is sending. Think of it like this. Some foods send a clean, coherent signal that helps organize your entire system. But other foods, they send a noisy, chaotic, staticky signal that just creates disruption. Your body is reading this code 24/7, and that's what you experience is either energy or exhaustion. To really wrap our heads around this, we're going to use this amazing metaphor called the bioelectric ladder. I want you to picture your biology as this incredible, nested structure. What starts as a tiny, tiny whisper at the atomic level doesn't stay tiny. It builds and builds until it becomes a roar that affects your entire body.
So, how does this ladder actually work? Well, it all starts at the very bottom, with the smallest stuff, the charges and molecules from our food. Those then influence our mitochondria in our cells, and those cells organize into our tissues and organs. And all of that culminates in how we feel, the overall coherence or the chaos of our entire body. The key thing to get is that the food you eat is sending signals to every single rung of this ladder.
All right, let's step onto the first rung, charges and ions. Seriously, everything begins right here. Your body is basically swimming in these subtle electric fields, and they're created by elements you know. Sodium, potassium, calcium. And where do we get those? From our food, of course. This is the absolute bedrock of your body's entire electrical system. And right away, we can see how our choices matter. Whole foods, fresh vegetables and fruits, they deliver a beautiful, balanced supply of these ions. They keep things stable and calm. But ultra-processed foods, which are often packed with additives like phosphates, they can throw that delicate balance completely out of whack, creating what you could call electrical noise at the most fundamental level of your being. Okay, let's climb up to rung 2, the mitochondria. You've probably heard these guys called the power plants of your cells, and honestly, that's the perfect way to think about them. They are these tiny biological batteries, constantly flickering with energy. And get this, they actually emit tiny flashes of light and conduct electrical currents. They are the engines of your life force.
And guess what? These little power plants are being tuned moment by the signals from your food. A coherent signal, like from healthy omega-3s, helps them produce stable, reliable energy. But an incoherent signal, maybe from certain emulsifiers you find in processed foods, can make their energy output totally chaotic. And that feeling? That's your 3 p.m. energy crash. That's your brain fog. It literally starts right here, inside your cells.
Now, here's why this is so important. That little bit of static and noise on the lower rungs, it doesn't just stay there. It gets amplified. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. It cascades up the ladder, rippling out from your cells into your tissues, disrupting how your organs function, and ultimately it hits your energy, your focus, and even your mood.
Okay, so we've got all these signals being generated by our food. Cool, but how do they get anywhere? How does a signal that starts in a cell in your gut communicate with your brain so fast? Well, the answer lies in a system that most of us have never thought of as, electrical wiring. I want you to meet your fascia. For so long, we just thought of this stuff as passive plastic wrap for our muscles and organs. But it turns out it is so much more than that. It's an intelligent, interconnected, 3D web that is the body's primary electrical conductor. It's the physical wiring harness for that entire bioelectric ladder we've been talking about.
And this network is it's incredible. For one, it's piezoelectric, which is just a fancy way of saying it literally creates its own voltage when you just move or stretch. It's also a low-resistance superhighway, letting these signals travel through your body at incredible speeds. And what's really wild is that modern imaging of these fascia networks lines up almost perfectly with the ancient meridian maps from traditional Chinese medicine. This is the system that physically connects your gut, your brain, and your heart into one unified network. So, we've climbed the ladder, we've seen the wiring. Now what? Let's bring this all home and boil it down to one simple, incredibly powerful idea you can start using today.
So what's the goal in all of this? Believe it or not, it kind of boils down to a single number. -70 millivolts. That's the target. That's the ideal electrical charge for healthy, stable, thriving human cell. And every coherent food you eat, every healthy fat, every balanced mineral is a direct instruction to your trillions of cells, helping them tune themselves to this exact voltage. So if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. Your plate isn't just a plate. It's a control panel for your own biology. With every single meal, you are literally inputting information. You're sending electrical instructions that will either build coherence and order or create noise and chaos throughout your entire system. You're in the driver's seat. Which really only leaves one final, and I think, pretty empowering question. The next time you sit down to eat, don't just see food. See information, see the signals, and then ask yourself, what signals are you going to send today?